Today we're going on an amazing journey to a fairy tale city dating back to the 9th century BC. The journey to the city is an exceptional one at that. It's going to take us through a 4,000-year-old Sumerian temple, a monastery dating back almost 2,000 years, an ancient Roman graveyard, and the ruins of an old Roman city. So we just saw Deyrulzafaran Monastery. It's pretty cool here. So this used to be the head of the Asyrian Religion, which is a big one in this area. And actually before that, 4,000 years ago, it was a Sumerian church that was here. They eventually converted to Assyrian, and that's how you got the whole monastery that you're gonna see or that you saw in the photos. But yeah, it used to be Sumerian. It was basically 4,000 years old. Interesting how they made the tombs. So they made them by putting dirt in. They put the stones on top, let the stones set, and then they pulled all the dirt out, and that's how you get the tomb that you're looking at. And above this insanely old Sumerian temple lies an insanely old monastery. Dating back to 493 AD, this monastery has existed for almost 2,000 years. And for almost 1,000 years of that monastery's existence, it was actually the head of the Asyrian religion, from 1160 to 1932. However, despite this move, a lot of beautiful Assyrian relics still remain in this church for people like myself to enjoy. Alright, and this is Dara, an ancient city that dates back over 2,000 years. So it's about 45 minutes away from Mardin. Definitely recommend coming here. I mean, this is something to see. It's something different from what you get in Mardin. What we're walking through right now are tombs. Alright, and now we're inside one of these tombs. Pretty sure these are tombs. You can see this is quite extensive. It reminds me a bit of Cappadocia. Alright, so next what we're going to be going into is an ancient 3-story graveyard. So this was built in the 500 ADs. Supposedly there are hundreds of bodies found in here. Let's go. So yeah, right behind me is an ancient Roman graveyard that's I got it up there. It's going down some stairs. So it is 3 stories tall. It's got hundreds of bodies, or had hundreds of bodies, and it's 1,500 years old. It's crazy to see history like that, and it's actually like a beautiful graveyard. They've got a chimney of sorts, or a hole leading upwards, and that's because they believed that the souls needed an area to just sort of escape through. So their graveyard had that hole so that the souls could go up into the sky, I guess, into the heavens. But yeah, it's a cool piece of history, and it's something that you really don't hear much about, but it's pretty crazy. It reminds me almost of like Petra or something like that, just in the scale of it and how big it is, just carved right into the rocks. You get graves and altars, and it's definitely something that's worth checking out. Now we're going into the cistern. It was for the ancient city of Dara. It could hold 1,500 square meters of water. And I just read that off a sheet outside. I didn't know that much coming in. But yeah, check it out. This is crazy big. So I think at some point the water would like come up to this level if it was a rainy season or anything like that. But during the summer it's pretty dry out here, so I think 1,500 meters might have been exactly what they needed. maybe this was a dungeon, and then underneath was a cistern. So the interesting thing about this is, down there, ancient Roman ruins. Up here, currently occupied house. The story goes they didn't know these ruins existed when they built it, but I don't know how you miss them. One of the interesting things about this drive is you're actually going right along the border of Syria. Literally, it's right next to the road. But it's quite a big border. So there's barbed wire and then like 2 cement walls, and who knows what's on the other side of those walls. So there's no real issues with it, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, it feels fairly safe. There's nothing really going on. And I think the whole thing in Syria sort of died down at this point. Like, yeah, it's been interesting to see, because that is a piece of history. That's not the best part of history, but it did happen, and it was fairly recent. So it's interesting to see. In the future, maybe they'll start, connecting some of these streets again. But for now, it seems like it's a pretty secure border still. You still see some military transport going up and down. So fairly militarized border, I'd say, just based on what I was seeing, like a lot of military outposts and stuff. But it's a fairly secure border, so I don't think there's anything to worry about. We are in Midyat. I'm back on baby duty, but yeah, welcome to Midyat. This is a city where a lot of Turkish soap operas are filmed, and it's just like Mardin. It's got that old feel to it, but in a little bit of a different way. The architecture here is a little bit more flat, I guess you could say. It's not built on a hill, but it's just as old and just as beautiful. Look at all this. So in Midyat, it looks like what's happened is underneath the house is just a maze of caves and sort of, I guess, basement rooms have been carved out. It's really cool down here, like literally, and very interesting. We're gonna go exploring a bit more. So Alright, so Midyat is a lot like Mardin. You've got these long streets that just go on forever. The architecture is slightly different, but it's still similar to Mardin. You can see a lot of similarities in the color of the bricks and everything like that. But it's a little different, a little less touristic, I'd say, but still beautiful. Alright, here you can see pretty much the whole city from here. It's a beautiful view. Definitely worth checking out. We got a cafe over there with more beautiful views, but we're gonna actually go higher because I think it gets better. Definitely does get better.